entrepreneurs. Welcome to another episode of Entrepreneur Fundamentals. My name is Robert Ditto. I'd like to address an old video that I made 6 years ago called Ignore Your Neighbors. A lot has happened in 6 years, and I thought that maybe that video deserves an update. It was my most popular video so far that I've ever uploaded. And I think because a lot of what I've said and maybe the title itself appealed to a lot of people. And I did not mean the title to be clickbait. It was really meant, the show was really meant for entrepreneurs, but I guess what I was saying appealed to everybody. But like I said, I want to update that a little bit because in the past 6 years, since 2016, I'm recording this June or July of 2022. So in those 6 years, a lot has happened. And the world's gotten crazier and people have become more unhinged. There's more anxiety and depression. There's a lot of what they call free-floating anxiety out there. So you have to be very, very careful with how you interact with your neighbors, especially if you're living in a big city. In my city, San Diego, in the past 6 years, we've seen the population become a lot more congested. There's a lot of gentrification going on, a lot of mowing down of, let's say, old apartment buildings. There was a building, let's say, that had 10 apartments in it, and now there's a tower there that has 80 to 100 apartments there. It's happening in my neighborhood. It's happening everywhere. So people now are living on top of each other more than they were just 6 years ago in the bigger cities, at least in the West, the Western world. But so you add that, and then also there's more immigration too, and people moving around. So your next door neighbor might not even speak your language. They may be from a religion that wants to throw you off the roof. I don't know. And you don't know either. It's really hard to tell who your neighbors are. And my whole idea of ignore your neighbors, I have to put in a big caveat there. I mentioned briefly in my first video that you should give them your silent blessing, say hello, and, just move on with your day. And I really have to emphasize that say hello thing. Say hello and maybe ask them one brief question without getting sucked in. Because one important thing that I have to stress about the whole ignore your neighbors thing is if you completely block people out, then you become a person of mystery, and a person of mystery is always a dangerous person. The quiet type who's really an axe murderer, that whole stereotype of the quiet loner, we see that in movies, the media, whatever. You can be a loner and be at peace with yourself and concentrating on your own things and have an incredibly happy and productive life. I'm kind of like that. I keep to myself. I have a million things going on, and I have a fulfilling, happy life. But if people see you as someone who doesn't engage with them, and they don't know what you're all about, they will fill in the blanks. And what they fill in the blanks with is never nice. So what I'm advocating is to say hello, how are you, how's it going? And then if they go off on a long tangent or whatever, just say, I'm really sorry, I'm tired from work, or, I wish I could talk to you, but I work so much. You know how bad things are now? Oh, the economy's terrible. Yeah, I work so much. I'm sorry, I just don't have time. And that's what I would suggest you keep it to. And now I know I've read a lot in the comments section about people who are super desperate even about their neighbor situation. Now, most neighbor situations are pretty benign. Someone blares their music. Somebody is really disrespectful. You can blow them off and move on. But if you have something serious going on in your apartment complex, in your caravan park or trailer park in the US or whatever. Some of these comments in my previous video, you guys need to go get some outside help, like either the police or social services or whatever your municipality or local government has to offer to help you. Because I can't help you by giving advice from thousands of miles away. You're just going to have to deal with it. And you have to do what's best for you. And now I'm speaking to the entrepreneur mostly, but it can be anybody who has to live in a bad situation and they have to be there for a long time. I was in a place for a long time where the on-site manager, who was not a people person, she was friends with the owner of the building, always harassed me. And because I was almost never there, I was concentrating on my business, I was working hard, she filled in the blanks. And whenever there was something going on, she always got the idea in her head. I bet that guy, Robert, he's too quiet. I bet Robert's behind it. So she would call me and say, I know you put that broken down piece of furniture next to the dumpster. You need to remove it. No, it wasn't me. That car battery in the recycling bin, I know you put that in there. I know you were the one who put those mean notes on the motorcycle parked outside. This woman, when she walked off the property, it was a 20-unit apartment complex, a total dump. When she walked off the property, she had no power. No one in the world would ever give this woman any responsibility for anything. She was so incompetent, and she was such a bad people person, and she's a former drug user who, you know, there were gaps in her thinking and stuff from her previous drug use. But she had total absolute power, or so she thought, inside the apartment complex, until, you know, I thought it was kind of funny that I was the scapegoat or I was on her short list and I never did anything. Then one time I said to myself, I have nothing to lose here. I'm probably going to leave soon. I don't care. And she can't do anything to me because the laws in California are pro tenant. So one day I was coming home from the gym. It was early in the morning. And I had noticed before I left that the next door neighbor's apartment, some thieves had come and taken a knife and cut out the entire window to go inside the apartment. The guy was in the process of moving in, and there were boxes everywhere. He was moving in over the course of a week, and so these thieves saw the boxes there. They knew that the apartment wasn't occupied, so they took a blade and just cut out the window and removed it and then stole the thing. And I saw that when I left, and I thought, oh gosh, you know, whatever. And I come home from the gym, and then there she is, the on-site manager with two other people. And by that time, I had so many run-ins with her. I kept on telling her, put it in writing, put it in writing. And whenever you want to talk to me, don't call me in the middle of the night. Don't do anything. Keep it in writing. So I'm opening my apartment door. She's there with two other witnesses, two other tenants. And she said, Robert, did you see what happened? And I'm unlocking the door and I go, and then she says, does it mean you saw something or does it mean you didn't see anything? And then I said, put it in writing. And then she lost it. She started literally jumping up and down and saying how much she hated me, how much she wanted me to leave, and blah, 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 all this stuff. She totally lost it. She became unhinged just because I told her to put it in writing, because she wasn't getting her way in her own little realm that she thought she had total control over. And so then I did what I wanted to do for a long time, and I turned to her and I said, calmly, like this, are you even sober right now? And then she completely lost it. And then she started swearing at me, and she said, oh, I can't wait until you leave. And I said, you've been wishing for that for years, and I'm still here, and I'm not going anywhere. And then I went back into my apartment, and I had nothing to worry about because I did nothing wrong. And there was nothing that they could do to evict me under any circumstances. I was going to stay there for as long as I wanted to. And that's how I dealt with her, because I felt like there was nothing to lose. And I had so many run-ins with this person that I thought, enough's enough. She's not getting better. She's not respecting me. So the gloves are off. And in that case, that was a specific thing that I did in that situation. Your situations will be different. If you have any funny stories like that, please share them below. I would like to read them. If you've had worse things happen to you or currently happening to you, I would hope that you either have sought some outside intervention or you are going to seek some outside intervention to help you, because you don't need to be miserable. You don't deserve to be miserable. But remember, you need to be on guard and don't get sucked into the minor tragedies around you if you're living in low rent or if you're in a situation that you don't want to be in. Remember, it's only temporary, and if you can't get along with their neighbors, a lot of the times they will move away. In fact, that on-site manager left. The woman who owned the building kicked her out, actually, and I was there longer than she was, so I outlasted her. But things like that sort themselves out. I remember a supplier saying to me once, there's an old Chinese phrase that says, if you stand by the riverbank long enough, you will see all of your enemies float on by you. Well, maybe that's the case. If you can stick it out, then stick it out. It's only temporary. Things are better on the other side. Things will get better for you. But in the meantime, keep your distance, send your neighbors a silent blessing, and hang in there. And if you're an entrepreneur listening to this or watching this, remember to always work hard, and may all your entrepreneurial dreams come true.